Plant water relation, mechanism of absorption of water. In last lecture we have discussed about the path of translocation of water from the root hair up to the xylem through two different ways, one apoplast and another symplast. Today we are going to discuss about the mechanism of absorption of water. This mechanism of absorption of water mainly takes place by two different ways. First, passive absorption, and second, active absorption. Passive absorption, name itself indicate. Passive means without expenditure of energy. Active absorption, there is a requirement of energy. So the process of absorption of water by physical forces without expenditure of energy by plant cells, which is produced during respiration in the form of ATP, is called as passive absorption. And active absorption, there is a requirement of energy for the process of absorption, which is called as active absorption. So this is about the passive absorption and the active absorption. So firstly, we are going to discuss about the passive absorption. In the case of passive absorption, you can observe in plant water is mainly absorbed passively. During passive absorption, ATP is not utilized at all. Enough absorption of the water from the soil towards the plant, majority of the water is absorbed by passive absorption. It is the main way of absorbing water through the roots and not by the roots from the soil into the plant. Mind it. The water is absorbed through the root and not by the root. Then by what? The absorption is performed by the driving force. It is a transpiration pool and it proceeds through the DPD gradients or osmotic pressure gradients, from lower osmotic pressure towards the higher osmotic pressure. Due to the process of transpiration pool, water is absorbed from the soil through the roots, not by the roots. Okay, so the root is an organ through which water is absorbed into the plant body, and for that absorption, what is a main force? This is a transpiration pool. Cells present inside the root hair and root are not going to expenditure of energy. They are not going to utilize the energy. This absorption is performed passively. Water moves in accordance to the concentration gradients, as now only we have discussed. No energy consumption, so it is called as passive absorption. How much? About 98% of the total water absorbed inside the plants by passive absorption. Generally, the process of passive absorption is occur during the time of a day. Why? Because process of a transpiration takes place during the daytime. It stops at the time of a night when transpiration it goes on decreasing and finally gets stops. Rapid transpiration creates a tension into the xylem vessels due to the negative water potential. This tension is transmitted to xylem in the roots and is helpful for absorption of water consequently towards the root xylem and from xylem towards the upward by passive absorption. Next one, active absorption. The active absorption performed inside the plant may be of two different kinds. As first, osmotic and non-osmotic. First, osmotic absorption. The active absorption, it requires an energy. In last slide we have discussed out of total water absorption, 98% of water absorption is performed by passive process. Now next, active absorption. Osmotic absorption, that process it is given by Atkins and Priestley in 1922. They proposed water is absorbed from the soil into the xylem of the root according to the osmotic gradients from lower osmotic area towards the higher osmotic area. That means from hypotonic solution towards the hypertonic solution. To create osmotic conditions, there is an expenditure of energy. To maintain the osmotic pressure, there is a requirement of energy, because continuously the thing is happen from root hair cell to the first layer of the cortical cell to second layer of cortical cell to third layer. At each and every time, water when pass from first layer to second to third to fourth to fifth, at each time when new water get entered inside the cell cytoplasm, its osmotic pressure get decreases. The water and cytoplasm becomes hypotonic compared to the neighboring cell. Then water it move from hypotonic towards hypertonic. Then first layer becomes further hypertonic. So in this way, at each and every time the water which came inside the cell goes on changing the osmotic pressure. As the osmotic pressure is get changed, to maintain the osmotic pressure of the cell, they have to release, they have to use up the energy. But such absorption does not directly required in the expenditure of energy. A gradient of dPd develops from cell of epiblema, that means root hair cell, to the pericyclical through the cortex due to the activity of a living cells of a root, which generates a root pressure. As the processes get continuous, it generates a hydrostatic pressure, which now only we have said as a root pressure. It develops inside the root cell and is responsible for the translocation of water from the root tissue towards the xylem and from xylem towards the aerial part of the plant body. The root pressure forces water from pericycle to xylem and then upward to the stem. Non-osmotic absorption. This is a second kind of active absorption given by the scientists Cramer and Thymann in 1959. They proposed this theory. They gave us an idea. Water is absorbed from the soil against the concentration gradient. How that it is so? At some time you can observe if the soil have more minerals. That means if the soil it becomes more salty due to the high irrigation, the minerals inside the soil get increased. As the minerals get increases, the osmotic pressure of the soil water it is more compared to the root hair cell cytoplasm, and now the water have to move against the concentration gradient from the soil towards the root hair, from the first root hair cell towards the first layer of the cortical cell. So that thing is happen in the relation of a non-osmotic absorption. Poor supply of oxygen retards the water absorption. However, the low temperature also retards the water uptake. Because if temperature get decreases, the rate of transpiration and respiration it is get decreases. Use of metabolic inhibitors also retards the rate of respiration and thus the water uptake. Next, translocation of water. Translocation of water. The transport of water with dissolved minerals from the root to other aerial parts like stem and leaves against the gravity is called as translocation of water or ascent of sap. What is translocation of water? The transport of water with dissolved minerals from the root to other aerial parts of the plant body like stem, leaves against the concentration gradient is called as translocation of water or ascent of sap. Then how this water is get actually translocated? How this water it moves against the gravitational force from the root towards the aerial part of the plant body. For studying about the thing of translocation of water, which is occur through the lumen of conducting tissue like xylem. Xylem shows an tracheids as well as the vessels. In all vascular plants, there are presence of tracheids and vessels inside the xylem for conduction of water. If we take a ringing experiment, who proved that the xylem is on a path of ascent of sap. Instead of that, several mechanisms or theories have been put forth to explain the mechanism of translocation of water. The theories who include the vital force theory, relay pump theory, physical force theory, root pressure theory, adhesion cohesion theory, transpiration pull theory. So out of those different theories, here we are going to discuss about some theories who give us an idea how actually the water is get translocated against the gravitational force from the root towards the aerial part of the plant body. And first theory here we are going to discuss about the root pressure theory. This is a vital theory, this is an important theory given by the scientist J. Priestley. J. Priestley gave us an root pressure theory. According to the root pressure theory, you can observe first. In this root pressure theory, you can observe the activity of a living cell of root is responsible for translocation of water. When a stem of potato plant is cut few inches above the soil by a sharp knife, xylem sap seen flowing out, oozing out through the cut part. This process it is called as an exudation. Exudation at the cut end of the stem is a good proof for the existence of root pressure. That means just above the ground, if we cut the stem of any herbivorous plant body, you can observe that the stem, as we cut just above the soil, few inches above the soil should be well watered, the plant should be well watered, and if we cut the stem of that plant, the water it start to oozes out from the stem. Why the water it is get oozes out? Here there is no transpiration pool, cause all the leaf of the plant body over here we have removed. Only the stem is there and is of only few inches above the soil. Then this water exudation, this water removal, the flowing out of water or oozing out of the water through the cut end, it is due to only the root pressure. Now you can observe in this case the root pressure, a rate of transpiration it is low, then it affect on the root pressure. It goes on increasing in the root pressure. Roots are still collecting the minerals. Water is forced from the higher pressure in the roots to the lower pressure towards the leaves. That it is about some facts related to the root pressure. Here one experiment is demonstrated to show the root pressure. This one, it is on a well-watered plant stump. That this plant stump is joined by the manometer to measure the exudation pressure from the cut stump. In another tube, the manometer is given. Initial level are checked and then final levels are checked. Initial level, when that manometer is kept on that cut end of the stump, and after few minutes, after 1 hour or 30 minutes, when we observe the final level, it is get changed. That means the stump is going to raise the water into the manometer, and automatically the level of water or final level is get increased compared to the initial level. As water absorption by root is constant, see here, the root are going to absorb the water from the soil continuously. The hydrostatic pressure is automatically get developed inside the living cells of the cortex. This hydrostatic pressure present inside the cortical cells of the root is termed as a root pressure by the scientist Hales. It is due to the root pressure, water along with dissolved mineral is not only forced into the xylem, but it also conducted upward against the gravity into the stem. Root pressure seems to be largely an osmotic phenomenon, and its development is an active process. The value of root pressure is +1 to +2 bars, which is enough to pump the water to a height of about 10 to 20 meters. See here, the root pressure of about +1 to +2 bar, it is sufficient to translocate the water up to the height of 10 to 20 meters. The factors like oxygen, moisture, temperature of the soil, salt content inside the soil are showing their effect on the root pressure. Here in the diagram it is shown how the root are going to absorb the water from the soil, how they generate a root pressure, and due to the generation of a root pressure, how the water is get translocated towards the upper side. Then the cohesive force, adhesive force, and then transpiration pull is also shown over there. Here the objections are get raised against the theory. Some limitations of root pressure theories are given over here. Who gave us an idea, yes, it's okay, the root pressure theory is helpful for translocation of water till some objections are raised against the root pressure theory. Which are those? First one, it is not applicable to the plants taller than 20 meters, as we have discussed now only. The pressure, root pressure of +1 to +2 bar, it is sufficient to translocate the water up to 10 to 20 meter. But what about the plant canopies who shows a height more than 20 meters? Ascent of sap can also occur even in the absence of root system. That means cohesive force, adhesive force, and transpiration pull is there. With the help of a transpiration pull, in the next theories we are going to discuss, without root also the water it goes on, that it get raised into the capillary tube by the cohesive and adhesive force. It is get translocated due to the transpiration pull without root pressure. Root pressure value is almost nearly zero in a taller gymnosperm trees. So how it is helpful to translocate the water then? The next, in active transpiring plants, no root pressure is developed. If the transpiration process is higher, they shows a transpiration pull. Continuously water it is get pulled from the root towards the xylem and from xylem towards the aerial part of the plant body. That means it does not give the chance to develop the hydrostatic pressure into the cortical region or root pressure into the cortical cells. Next, xylem sap under normal condition is under tension. That means it shows negative hydrostatic pressure or high osmotic pressure. The next, the capillary theory is given over here. We'll discuss about the capillary theory in the next lecture. It's all for today's lecture. That objections of root pressure theory we have discussed up to 8. In next lecture we are going to discuss about the cohesion tension theory. It's all.